So this is just a session I figured I would open up for anyone who had any questions or concerns about the exercise and falls prevention program with community care, or about the new membership format that's being put in place here in April this year, so that we could try and keep things as clear and concise as possible for everyone, and make sure everyone understands and knows what's going on. So with that, I will open the floor, I guess, for the first question, because maybe that'll lead me into some of the things that you want to talk about. No one? Okay. Elaine waved her hand there.
I was just going to ask a question. I paid online and I got a form back from Jotform saying that they received it. But does that mean my payment went through, or is there something else I have to do?
No, so that is just usually an auto email that Jotform will send just to confirm that your form was completed and that we've received it. So unless you hear further from, it would probably be myself or Krista, then everything is fine. There is a slight delay in terms of the payments for us to confirm whether they've gone through, because we're working with our finance team. We don't have access to the bank accounts to see what goes in there. So we see the form come in basically right away, but we do have to wait for the finance team to confirm the payments. The credit card ones are pretty quick. E-transfers are a little bit slower for them to confirm, but that's just an auto reply that's just confirming that your form's been done and it's been received.
Okay, good, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Oh, I thought Barbara was reaching to change something there. So there's not really any other questions right off the bat. I'll just give a brief explanation of kind of our program in terms of community care. Really started to work with this program. I think it was 2014 when the funding model changed. So prior to 2014, if you lived in a retirement home or long-term care, you had access to group exercises and one-on-one physiotherapy. If you did not live in either of those settings, then you were out of luck. And this is when they really started to notice the backup in terms of the wait lists to get into long-term care. They were noticing the increases in the number of falls coming into the hospitals, and just kind of the general state of things. So they decided they wanted to get ahead of it and try and help people stay active and healthy in their own homes longer. So what they did is they changed it so that all older adults age 55 and above would have access to this program. So the group exercise programs were sent out to organizations in our area and most of the surrounding areas. It's community care. Some regions it's VON. It just depends who was interested in taking that on for each region. The one-on-one physiotherapy, that went to the home care. So in our region, Kawartha Therapy Services and Closing the Gap are the two agencies, I believe, that have the contract for that. Now, with that, it meant we got a chunk of funding to run these classes. And when that started, basically what we had is you had seated exercise classes, and then you had a standard falls prevention class, which was just a mixture of some seated, some standing strength and balance, maybe a little bit of walking. And those were the two options. It may have differed a little bit in terms of intensity and the speed of the exercises, the difficulty of the exercises, depending on the location that the class ran out of. But those were the only two style classes we ran. And then since that time, with the classes at Community Care Peterborough, we've taken a leadership role really in a lot of in Ontario in terms of developing and changing the program. So we started to listen to feedback from participants in terms of what they might be interested in trying, what would draw them out to the classes or make them want to come. And we started getting a little, changing things up. We started changing some things to Zumba or adding Zumba, adding in chair yoga classes. And then from there, we added Zumba toning in some locations. We went to some mat strength and stretch or mat yoga classes. We varied up our styles with our falls prevention classes, depending on the location, what they're interested in and what their needs are. If you go to, Havelock compared to Ennismore, compared to somewhere else, based on those that are attending the classes, the programs are not the same. We try to gear them towards who is there, what their interests are, and what they need. And then during COVID, our program was rocking along really well, and everything shut down. So we immediately pivoted, and we were able to go on to an online format, and that was fantastic. In the early days of COVID, when everyone was locked down entirely, we frequently had over 50 people online for a class. I think one day I had 64 people on my class, so much so that my bandwidth wasn't able to sustain it. So I was asking people to turn their videos off so that they could at least see me, which was awesome. It was awesome to have that many people interested. And as things started to reopen, some people were comfortable coming back to in person, some people weren't. So we wanted to offer the opportunity for both of those comfort levels to continue with their exercise. So we were able to maintain an online presence while bringing our in-person classes back. Now, during this entire time, the reason that our membership is now coming in is there's been no increases in funding from the ministry during this time. So since that time in 2014, when we initially got our base amount, we've made all of these changes and adaptations, and that was ticking along pretty good. But then the economy also started increasing the cost of absolutely everything. So the agency started trying to figure out ways that we could maintain what we have, the quality of it. We have fabulous instructors, and the diversity of it in terms of what we offer. And this was what they came up with, is this annual membership fee, which works out to, if you do the $30 annual membership, it works out to $2.50 a month. So if you only went to one class a month, that class cost you $2.50. If you go to more classes, then it's less than that. And we're hoping that that'll help carry us through, and we can continue to offer what we do for everyone. For the most part, so far, the reaction have been fairly positive. Being a nonprofit, people have been on board wanting to help us out. So that is the story of the community care, exercise, and falls prevention in a nutshell. And we've had other areas, other community cares through particularly the past 5 years or so, reaching out to us, wondering what we're doing with our program. Why is it doing so well? Like, how are we getting so many people to our classes? How do we offer so many things? And that's partially, I think we have amazing instructors, we have amazing participants, lots of people that want to stay active and want to be involved, and that's been just fantastic. And I will, if there's any questions, comments, concerns.
Sharon,
Thanks.
what's the plan for Ennismore?
So with you're talking with the additional location that we've got there. So the plan for, I believe, I'm thinking in May, we're looking at maybe moving back outside, because when we made the agreement with back in the fall, it was originally just that we were only going to be inside for the winter months, and then we were going to move back outside for the spring. So I was just starting to think of that Earlier this month, I touched base with the coordinators, and then I wanted to touch base still with Jasmine to find out. Because even the building that we're in, I don't believe it has air conditioning, so it'll just become a little steam box itself when we get into the hot days. It'll probably be cooler outside than inside.
The court gets very hot, and a lot of girls I find leave in the middle of class because they can't take the heat. So I'm not sure which would be worse, being in a hot box without the sun on your head or being outside. It's okay if it's cloudy, but it's
And
not so
so,
good if it isn't.
and like with the participants covering the cost in terms of donations, that would have to still continue. Now,
Mhm.
how would the participants feel about that?
I don't think any of the girls mind paying that $2 or whatever it costs, but I guess it would have to maybe in one class them be asked what they want to do,
Mm-hmm,
what they prefer, and then the majority would rule.
mm-hmm.
You know,
Okay, yeah, we can, maybe one day I'll try and sooner than later,
Mhm.
find a way to get out there and talk to the classes. And also I'd have to touch base with Carolyn at the location and see what she said, if it's okay on their end as well. I don't know what they have in the summertime for events. I imagine it's a little bit busier probably because that's when people like to do all their bigger events or gatherings for
Mhm.
families.
Right.
So yeah, I'll be in touch with Jasmine and the groups and we'll figure that out.
Okay.
So I do want to try and make it where we have as many people attending as possible. We make it as accessible as possible for everyone. So if that means staying inside, then maybe that's what we'll have to look
Mm.
at.
Now, when you put the extra class on in Peterborough, we thought maybe that would move some of the girls that were coming from Peterborough, but I don't think it's changed. But maybe it will. I don't know.
Yeah, no, the class in Peterborough, it's because it's on a separate day too. So ultimately, if you were really committed to doing Zumba, Jasmine's classes now, you could go Monday to Friday if you
Mhm.
wanted to drive to see her because she's in Lakefield on Mondays, Havelock on Tuesdays, Peterborough on Wednesdays, Chemung on Thursdays, and Chemung and Millbrook on Fridays.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
so if you were really, really wanting to do a lot of Zumba, you could.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully her leg gets better soon and you can get back to her full steam classes because she runs an amazing class.
Thank you, Shannon. Thanks for the overview.
Oh, you're welcome. Nice to see faces I
That's
haven't
great.
seen in a while.
Yeah, thanks for the overview, Shannon. I've been away, so I haven't joined yet, but I tend to join. I think it's good value. $30 can't complain at that. I just got to dig back through the emails and find which ones has the instructions on for for payment.
I think we're going to send out another one because the timing was really bad with the ice storm. We sent out the notice with the membership information, and then you guys just got email after email in the following week about schedule adjustments because of the power outages and everything. So no, I think a lot of people feel similar to you that it kind of got buried. We have to dig through it to find it. So I think we'll send out another email just with the information again, so that's on the top of the list instead of being way down at the bottom.
Yeah, good idea. We were without power for 6 days. Actually, we were away. We came back, and we're still trying to clean up all the wood that's come down and get rid of the stuff in the freezer because the freezer was out of power for 6 days.
Oh,
So
that's too
we're
bad.
kind of in recovery mode right now. So it's trying to get things back to order. But,
I know. I think
yeah.
the number of people are in the same boat. We still got a bunch of big branches down on our property as well that we haven't had a chance to get to, but yeah, it was. I think the damage from it was worse than the derecho that went through a couple of years ago, is what I've been reading.
Oh,
Yeah.
fast for sure. Yeah. There's 3 oak trees come down that are not going to get cut up. They're just too big. They're just This is like a post-COVID era for us. This is post ice storm era. It's a new era.
Oh, no, it's so sad when the big old trees come down. Oh,
Yeah,
because they're so
yeah,
beautiful. And they've been there
yeah,
so
yeah.
long.
But somebody in the future might you want them for firewood or something. I don't
Yep,
know.
yep.
Too much work for me.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's a lot of work. Mm-hmm. Well, great.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't have any questions for you. And again,
No
thanks for the
questions?
background. It gives a good indication of where we come from, you know. And
Yes,
during
yeah.
the pandemic, the community care was just great because we were going to Trent University first. Then the pandemic come along, and the community care just seemed like the ideal place. And it's fun because you don't have to travel anywhere.
I
You
know, it
know,
makes it so easy. There's aside from the internet, there's really not any excuses when it's online.
that's good.
Because you can
Yeah.
turn your screen off. You don't even have to, get dressed in real clothes if you don't want to. If you don't have your video turned on, no one will
No,
know.
no. It took me a while to get my video on because I just got my laptop out of I hid it away while I was away, and I just plugging all the different things in to get it working again. So,
Yeah, sometimes you have to figure it out.
yeah.
Oh, and I just one more thing I want to touch on because someone did email in this question just about the cancellations. There have been more cancellations recently, and some locations end up getting hit harder than others. We try to avoid cancellations anytime we can. If the weather is unsafe, so the question we ask ourselves in the morning is this safe not only for like the instructors to get there, but also for our participants to be leaving their houses and trying to get into the buildings. Like I know there were a couple days where the instructor couldn't even get up the walkway at one location to get into the building because of ice. So we made the decision to cancel, or with the ice storm, we had a bunch of cancellations. Another thing that has been causing some issues lately is, and it's totally understandable, Jasmine, she's had some health issues with her leg, and she has a very unique style. We don't have any other instructors trained to run a class like she does. So when she's unavailable, unfortunately, in most cases, we do have to cancel. There are some situations when we know about it in advance, we can pivot and get another instructor to cover the class in a different style. But at last minute, usually those options aren't available to us. So we do try to avoid cancellations as much as possible. But there's uncontrollable events such as weather, the location sometimes has other events booked in the space for in-person classes, the instructor being sick or having an injury, or through Christmas, we do usually do that holiday break where we take a break from running classes for around 2 weeks. So again, our funding package that we got, how they set it up is we get funded for 48 weeks of classes per year. So there are 4 weeks in that funding package where they are expecting us to cancel classes. So between that time over Christmas and then any weather events or illnesses, usually that covers that 4 weeks. But didn't want to forget to get that in there.
Mhm.
All right. Well, if there aren't any other questions, then I think that about does it. Well, thank
Yeah.
you all for joining me. Oh, Jeff, did you have something?
I was just going to say I look forward to the new email to join. So if someone could get that out, that'd be great. I'll look for it for
Yeah, Krista and I
joining.
will start working on that. She's a little better on the email stuff than I am. I temporarily suspended my own privileges of sending out mass emails there last week because I made a little bit of an error. But we'll get on putting that one together. All right. Well, thank you for jumping on. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And if there are any questions or concerns that pop up, just shoot us an email at efp@comcareptvo.org. And myself, Krista, and Marcia all monitor that email account. So between the three of us, we can often get a response sent out pretty quickly.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shane.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.